Should you go no contact after a breakup? In this video, I'm going to explain you what is no contact, my definition of no contact, why I think it's a great strategy, but also the cases where it's actually not very helpful to go no contact, anything basically you need to know about no contact if you want to get back with your ex. Jingle.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
So what is no contact? No contact is basically ceasing any form of communication with your ex. When I say this is, don't try to get them to react. Don't like their stories. Don't comment on their posts. Don't try to get attention through their friends, their family. No contact is you have nothing to deal with. You have no intention of getting something from your ex. The idea of no contact is to leave space between you two, leave enough space for you to reflect and away from the resentment. That's very important, and that's why, and I'm not the only one advising about no contact, that's why it's important in any relationship recovery is to have a phase of no contact, because a breakup creates a lot of resentment. You're angry at them, your partner wants their freedom. For some reason, they feel that they need to be on their own. And it's very important to create that space if you want to get back with your partner. Now, sometimes no contact is useless. In the case of a relationship where there's nothing to say, where it's going to be extremely hard, if not impossible, to get together, when you go no contact, you make it easier for your ex to leave, to move on, to get into a new relationship. And when this happens, the problem is that you might fail to get any form of closure that you deserve. So it's very important for you to assess at this stage whether you have any chance or not of getting back with your ex. I put together a quiz for you to assess in 4 minutes whether you have any chance of getting back with your ex. Minority of people have what I call recoverable relationships. If that's not the case, you can look anywhere online, strategies, you can book coaching calls with people. If you have a score below 15, my friend, it's time to realize that it's not something you can recover from. And then you should start thinking about you. Try to get some closure if you need to get some closure, but stop focusing on getting back with your ex. My assessment is quite strict, and only a minority of people will have a score above 15. So take the quiz if you want to know if you have any chance of getting back with your ex, because that will also drive sort of what should be your next actions. Being in touch is okay. If, and if is very important, if you see that the conversation is going in the right direction, if you see that you are getting a little bit more commitment, a little bit more intimacy from your ex. It's okay if you don't get any mixed signals, if you feel that your ex is consistent, your ex is not having an agenda. It's okay if it's not too hard emotionally for you to stay in touch with your ex. It's okay if you are 100% sure that by staying in touch with them or by being in touch with them, you're not feeding their ego. Sometimes when we break up with a partner and we lack the attention, we lack that someone loves us, likes us, even though we don't feel that's the right person for us, sometimes, I'm not saying everyone is like this, and I'm not saying your ex is like this, but sometimes there's a risk of you feeding your ex's ego when you communicate with them. So it's very important to assess the if. If you want to get back with your ex, you need to be in touch with them. As I discussed before, I think usually it's important to have a phase of no contact, unless after the breakup you still have you maintain contact with your ex, but it's evolving. I usually say with my clients, I can give you an assessment of your situation right now, but it's very hard for me to predict what will happen. I will give you some sort of guidelines and a plan, but the thing is, what you have to do when you're in touch with your ex, you have to assess every single day how they react, their communication, right? That's what I do with my clients. I have clients on WhatsApp, and I coach them when in that phase of communication, of recovering the relationship with their ex. And that's what we do. We assess every single day. Every now and then Where is their ex? How can we gain a little bit more clarity? How can we deepen our conversation with that person? And it takes a bit of time, but at least you're sure that you're progressing. So rather than thinking, because I know when we are in love, when we have feelings with someone, we want things to be very quick. We want, magic formulas. If that's the case, you are watching the wrong channel. I don't have any magic formulas. I'm a therapist and I know things take time when it's about dealing with people. We can have an amazing and fast progress when it comes to you and the things you can control, because I'm not the type of therapist who like to spend months working with people if the answers are, could be found in few sessions, because the idea is to really how we can move forward, how you can take those information and drive the agenda forward. So why no contact? Most people, and that's why I think it's the number one tip that you'll see online, most people want to confront their exes. That's when I said about being emotional, those feelings, there's always an element of unconsciousness in our decisions, especially with our partner, especially with the people we love, because it reminds us of our childhood. That's not the purpose of this video, but just to explain you that when we are rejected, when we feel rejected by our partner, we feel the need to express, to confront, to say to them, I love you, how can you do this to me? This is wrong, and I'm going to tell you why it's wrong. And I'm going to give you, 20 reasons why we should be together. And by doing that, you fail to understand that that's not what your ex wants right now. Being happy with someone, being happy with any relationship, it's about understanding people's needs. And right now, what your ex needs is space, is freedom. And when you fail to understand this, when you are invading their space, trying to, and regardless of the argument, sometimes I have clients, they explain me the situation, and I do agree with them. Their ex is making a big mistake. They are dating someone who's not the right person for them. But the problem is, it's a question of timing. It's a question of rebalancing the power struggle between you and them. Okay? So it's very important for you to understand, yes, even though you don't feel like it, your ex wants to be wants to have this space on their own to experience the breakup. They made the assumption that they will be happier without you. They probably, in a way, looked forward to this moment of being on their own. Give them that moment. Give them that moment, because if you don't, what you're going to create is you're going to create a bad image of you. They're going to remember you and remember your behaviors based on this emotional reaction, the idea that you want to confront them. You want them to remember you as the person who was loving. You want them to remember you as the person who was in love with them. Because if you're watching this video, if you have had a high score on the test, you know you had something special. You know you had something special, and you know we can work on those things. And that's the thing we want our ex to remember, not the crying person, not the person depressed and sad because of the breakup. And you have all the right to be sad and depressed, but don't show it to your ex. And it's good for you. That's why, for me as a therapist, that's the number one reason I like no contact, because it's good for you, because you are away from this anxiety. There's a lot of anxiety created when we are in touch with our ex. All the questions that triggers. What shall I answer? Are they hiding something? When will they text back? All those things, and it's very hard to feel immune to this anxiety when you're in touch with someone. When you know that they are probably hiding their real agenda. When you know that you're suffering those mixed signals, right? It's very, very difficult to deal with that. And when you're in touch with your ex, it prevents you from looking inward. It's preventing you from growing. The whole point of my purpose, I'll tell you a secret, my purpose is to help people. And help people in a way that, because for me, breakups are formative events, events in people's life when they feel like this is a moment, an awakening moment for me to do something that I haven't really done, to address things I haven't really dealt with, insecurities, micro traumas, all these kind of things, and potentially this breakup has made those things resurface. So the point is getting that space, focusing on yourself to grow, to heal, to soothe as well, learning new tools to be okay being alone on your own. This is what we're going to do in next weekend. For a week, join us. We have a challenge 1 week to really help you reflect, spend that time, finally this time, to take care of yourself, away from this sort of mental load of, what should I do, what should I say. Use this time, 1 week, nothing will change. Your ex won't forget you, your ex won't cheat, won't change their mind in a week. Just 1 week focusing on yourself and getting clarity, getting also the boost, the confident boost that you finally need. Join me. We're going to have daily coaching calls this week. There are some details in the description of this video. I will see you next time. Take care of yourself. Bye bye. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer.